Hello and welcome to the Downsized Dish. My name is Laraine Durham, and this is a channel where we talk about all things GLP-1 weight loss related. This is our weekly series called the Downsized Dish, where we talk to people who are on a GLP-1 weight loss journey with medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, Zepbound, Semaglutide, and Tirzepatide. I've lost over 50 pounds using compounded Tirzepatide, and it's my goal to talk to people who are also on GLP-1 journeys and see what we can learn from each other. Before we get started, I'd like to ask everyone to please like and subscribe to The Downsize so you never miss an episode. And today I'd like to welcome Taisha. Welcome, Taisha, to Downsized.
Thank you.
Taisha, tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. My name is Tiasha. Today's my birthday, actually. And
happy
I'm
birthday.
47. Thank you.
Oh, nice.
47 years old. And let's see, I'm a married mom of 5 daughters.
Oh my goodness.
I want to say the first 33 years of my life small. Even after having kids, the weight would always just drop off.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say the last maybe 14 years now, I've had this struggle of gaining weight, losing weight, but not like the right way, doing the extreme, faddish things and things that definitely weren't sustainable. And so instead of going from a normal weight of 132, I got all the way up to 216 pounds. I lost 84 pounds from the end of 2020 to 2021.
Okay.
And did not keep all of those habits up and crept back up to adding another 50 something pounds. So I was extremely happy to learn about Zepbound and start that journey in February. So
now how tall are you, Taisha?
I'm 5'7".
5'7". Okay. And so you lost weight over COVID. Did I get that right?
Yeah. So which is the opposite of what everyone was doing, right?
Right. So you really tuned in and you were at home and you were just focused, I bet.
Towards the end of 2020, I had a health scare. I was in the hospital for a total of 10 days. A lot of the reason I was in there were complications because of a procedure, because of the way that I was eating. I just wasn't taking care of myself. And that was kind of like a wake-up call for me. Like, okay, you got to get it together. I mean, just the thought of, leaving my kids behind.
Right.
It just was, that was the motivator I needed at that time.
Yeah. Wow. That would definitely be scary to be in the hospital for 10. That's a long stay. What did you change after that health scare?
So I came out of the hospital. This would have been September of 2020. I wasn't considered a vegan yet, but I know that the doctor had told me I needed to increase my fiber. And not to be gross, I had a colonoscopy done and things just weren't cleared out, and a lot of it had to do with, the diet. So higher fiber and making sure I drank more water. And switching over to a whole food plant-based, incorporating more veggies and all that.
Yeah.
So when I got out, I had found Dr. McDougall. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him.
I don't think so. Yeah.
So he passed away this year, but he had a book, The Starch Solution. And so, a lot of people cut out carbs and things like that. Or, I've since learned that there are reasons that people do that, but it was trying to get over this fear of not eating carbs and things. And so I adopted that. And then, slowly but surely started incorporating like faux meats and all these other things and junk food again. But when I was on that, and I wasn't looking at it as a lifestyle change. I mean, I knew that I wanted to get better, but it was kind of like, I'm going to do this until I get here. And I think that was the problem. I got to a certain weight and then just kind of maintenance is, I think, harder than weight loss.
Yeah. I'm here. Yay. I can do what I want now. I'm cured.
It's so silly, but I just completely reverted.
Yeah. Okay. So you lost the 84 pounds, then it slowly crept back up again. So I guess that brings us to your current journey. So tell us about your current journey and about how you came to the medication.
Okay, so last year I tried Wegovy
Uh-huh.
and I was not able to get that consistently, and I
Oh.
had not made any lifestyle changes.
Mhm.
So, of course, I was getting sick and things like that because I wasn't eating, I was eating like greasy foods and
Yeah.
just things like that when I had an appetite.
Yeah.
So, once I stopped that, because it was kind of sporadic over 6 months,
Mhm.
when I stopped taking it, I was down to 147. And this was in September of 2023.
Okay.
By the end of November,
Mhm.
I was already up into the 170s.
Oh my gosh. Like
Right.
30 plus pounds, right?
Yes, in a
Oh
sh
my
in a
gosh.
sh relatively short amount of time,
Yeah.
which started causing other issues, right? That's a lot.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in February, I met with a telehealth provider because I wasn't having any success with my local providers at the VA.
Yeah.
And so he prescribed Zepbound, did the first 4 weeks on 2.5 milligrams,
Mhm.
no side effects, no issues. I went into it though with this has to be a complete mindset change. Like I'm not going to do the stuff that I did before. It's just kind of like I can't keep losing and gaining all of this weight.
Yeah.
So I am down 54 pounds.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
so I feel great. I've been strength training
Mhm.
regularly.
Mhm.
I'm almost at 40 weeks on Zepbound. I have
Okay.
been strength training for 38 of those weeks
Oh, excellent.
consistently. So
Excellent.
consistency has been something that's been a lifelong struggle, but
Yeah.
I feel like I have it. Not where I'm complacent and I'm on autopilot or anything, but you know,
Yeah. It's just something you have to it's just a life now,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. So here's a couple before and afters. Tell us about these pictures.
So the first one, I can't really see the text, but
I
this would
can't either.
probably be a month into my journey.
I think it says March 2024.
Okay, so that's a month into my Zepbound journey,
Okay.
and that was I put all my workouts on Instagram. So
Oh, cool.
that one, and then the next one, I think I
That's
can't.
June
Okay.
2024.
So
Yeah.
yeah, those are just kind of clips from workouts, but you can see there's especially in my midsection area, it felt like I carried a lot of the weight kind of
Yeah.
in this region.
Yeah. Oh, here's some other pictures. So I think these are a little further back, maybe.
Yeah, those are a little older. You can tell by how short my hair is, but that wasn't even my highest. And a lot of times when I did pictures like this, it
Mhm.
wasn't really for like public. It was,
Right.
I'm starting a new journey. And I was getting
Yeah.
an assessment by taking the before picture and the weights, but those
Yeah.
afters never really came.
Yeah, I mean, I've done the mirror and the selfie with the yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. So here's I guess these are older.
Yeah, those were after I had gotten out of the hospital from that
Yeah.
procedure.
Mhm. Okay. And here, significant other or husband, I guess.
It is. This is my hubby. The first one, that was in 2020. We had a photographer in town that was going by and taking pictures of people, but you'd have to
Yeah.
stay on your porch.
We did too.
So,
We did too. Yeah.
and then the photo on the right, that was from a wedding that I was in recently, actually,
Oh, wow, you
November
guys
9th.
look great. Yeah, you guys look great. His hair got longer too. But yeah, definitely, you can definitely see I mean, such a big difference, such a big difference. So, tell me about the going vegetarian or vegan or
Vegan.
vegan. Okay.
Mhm.
So, how do you get your protein?
That's a good question. I get asked that a lot. So,
Yeah.
tofu. So, the majority of the food that I eat, I would say, is whole food, plant based, minimally processed. But
Yeah.
I do eat tofu, which is, it's processed, and
Yeah.
peanut butter powder.
Yeah.
So, I have a serving. I usually do 72 grams of peanut butter powder and 140 grams of blueberries, right?
Okay.
That's 380 calories and 36 grams of protein.
Okay.
So I rely heavily on that plus tofu and chickpeas to get a good amount of protein. If protein's in a good amount of things like beans, and I eat a big enough serving to where it's like, I think equivalent to maybe what someone else would have on their plate with meat.
Yeah. And I guess the beans give you the fiber too.
Yes.
You're talking about fiber. I had a recent colonoscopy and I was told that I need to be on a high fiber diet.
Did you really? That prep was terrible, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. So this was I'm 55. So this is my second colonoscopy. I had my first one at 50. It was fine. Had this one. Yeah. The prep, I was off the shot for 2 weeks. Anyway, I have to go back and have another colonoscopy because I found a spot they didn't like, but they didn't have the equipment in the local office. So I have to go to the hospital and do it again.
Oh,
Wah,
okay.
wah. So
yeah, I had one, is it called a polyp? I had one removed.
Yeah.
They tested it. Thankfully, it's, no cancer or anything like that, but I do have to go more regularly than probably like you because they found something. So I only had to skip 1 week of the shot.
Yeah. Did you? Yeah. And that's what my doctor had told me was be off for 7 days, but I don't know. I thought
Want to be safe.
2 weeks because I've been on it now for over a year and I felt like I had so much built up, but I don't know. A week probably would have been fine. I got really hungry.
Did you?
After the colonoscopy, yeah.
I was worried. I was worried that I went into it with some fear, like, oh my gosh, I'm skipping a shot. What if all this stuff comes back? But I did not. It's like I didn't skip a beat.
Yeah,
and
that's good.
I feel very fortunate because I know that that's just not everybody's experience, but I didn't, none of the food noise, it didn't come back.
Okay.
And so now I know in the future, at least I hope that's also the experience in the future when I do it. I don't have to have that fear going into it.
Yeah, and I've skipped shots before, like at the beginning, like when we went on a vacation and I said, I'm not going to take my shot this week because I want to party. And it was fine. And then I've also gone on vacations where I took my shot and it was fine. And I kind of got it in my head, well, this is kind of my life now. So let's figure out how to work with it and not how to go off and on and up and down. So I had a question in my mind that I was going to ask you, and it has flown away. All right, let me go to my list of questions. What was it? Oh, so your dosage now. So you're on maintenance now?
Mm-hmm.
And so how did you go through the dosages and what dosage are you on now for maintenance?
So I'm on 5 milligrams still.
Okay.
When I went up, so initially I did the normal, since 2.5 is technically a loading dose.
Right.
My doctor already had it told me that after the 4 weeks, as long as everything was okay and I didn't have any bad side effects, that I would just go up to 5.
Yeah.
And I've gone up to 5 and it's been fine. And I've been asked if I'm going to go back down, and I'm just kind of like, but 5 is working. I'm still able to eat, I eat about 1,800 calories a day. If I wasn't able to do that, then that would make sense. But I feel like it's not broken. So I just, I'm just going to stay at 5. And my plan is indefinitely, for the rest of my life. Like I have no intentions on trying to taper off or anything.
Right. Okay. And you do the Zepbound shot. Is that do that shot?
Yes, my insurance covers it. Now earlier this year, my copay was $49. And then like a few months ago, it dropped down to $24. And I'm like, well, okay. Yeah. And I
running out of the pharmacy.
Yes. And it's on auto refill. So Walgreens, it seems like it doesn't take like 4 weeks. It's like they'll refill it after 3 weeks or something. So I've got some in there. No crazy stash. I just, just now opening my last box tomorrow. Okay. Or Sunday.
Do you have any problems with getting it from Walgreens anywhere through the process?
So initially it was with Express Scripts.
Yeah.
And that was stressful when it was
Yeah.
like, when I think everybody was really being impacted by the shortage. I
Yeah.
can't remember exactly what month that was, but that was stressful. I have only had to push my shot back by 2 days. So there was one Saturday that I wasn't able to do the injection,
Mhm.
and then on Monday it got filled, and I was just like,
Ah.
"Yes." So I just keep it there. I just keep it there. I
Yeah.
know it would be cheaper to go through Express Scripts. I could, get a 90-day supply for $20, but it wasn't consistent. To me, it's worth
Huh.
it. You know what I mean? Like to just pay
Yeah.
for it, and I know that they're gonna have it.
Yeah. And Express shipped it to you with cold packs and all that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So when I've traveled, I've used the little gel packs that come in it. I'll
Yeah.
put it in a Ziploc bag with my medication, and I'm just like, "All
Yeah.
right, we're good."
Perfect. Yeah. Did you take it, like, on a vacation, or where'd you take it?
So when we went out of town for the wedding, I
Oh,
took
huh.
it there. I've
Uh-huh.
done some house sitting for my daughter twice.
Mhm.
Both of those times kind of fell on a weekend, so I
Yeah.
traveled there.
And your shot day, I think is Saturday?
I switched it to Sunday.
Sunday, okay.
Trying to remember why. There was a reason, and I don't have that in the forefront of my mind right now, but
Yeah.
I just switched it to we had a lot going on, and I like to, you know, do the
Yeah.
injections and record them and stuff.
Yeah, more
Yeah,
time and all that. Do you work outside the home, or do you work from home? No?
I'm retired. I got
Oh,
medically retired out of the Army in 2011.
thank you for your service. Thank you very much. What branch were you in?
I spent 4 years in the Air Force and then
Uh-huh.
5 years in the Army.
Oh, wow, okay. Alright, great, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, with your shot day being on Sunday, do you find you are hungry when the weekend comes? Or it just you're just good all throughout?
I have not yet, and I say not yet because I know things could change, but
Yeah,
to date, I haven't had any where it's like, "Oh my gosh, food noise is coming back." It sustains me,
okay.
which
Yeah,
is crazy. I wish I could show people, like, how much I used to eat and how, like, constantly I was thinking about food, but it hasn't even when I did the colonoscopy prep and skipped a
yeah,
week. So I
you're
think I
still
ended up going 12 or 13 days
yeah,
and nothing.
it was good.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, and I hear, I hear stories like that, from a lot not a lot of people, but some people just respond better. Their body just seems to have a better less resistance, I guess, to the medication. So, I talked to one lady, Susie, who had lost 50 pounds and never moved off at 2.5.
you guys said that.
Yeah. So,
Awesome.
and you've lost, I guess, the bulk of your weight on 5. And even for maintenance, you're just gonna stay on 5, which I think is a good idea personally. I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. This is just, tales from the internet. But yeah, and that's what I've kind of been wondering with too. So on maintenance, I'm doing a 7.5 dose, and I've kind of found that I've been doing maintenance since, I guess, really since July. So I found I've been able to eat a little bit more. I can, you know, I can have, more than the 5 bites of food I was having at the beginning. I'm trying to find that where do I go in maintenance? Because there's really no roadmap. There's no does your doctor give you any advice or just says stay on 5?
So the telehealth provider I was seeing was concerned. The last visit, he was like, "So you're down to your goal weight. Did you want to maybe consider trying something else?" I said,
Yeah.
"Absolutely not.
Nope.
No." I was like, "And
Yeah.
I don't want to come off of this." And I know I didn't have the proper lifestyle changes with Wegovy, but that amount of weight, like that rebound, it just I felt like things were worse than before I ever even tried it. So
Oh,
I have that fear.
yeah.
I still have some fears and I'm working on it. But I
Yeah.
told him I have increased my calories. I am not trying to lose weight. I think the fact that I keep track of everything and I can show them, it's not just
Yeah.
kind of lip service. It's like, no,
Yeah.
here, look, this is how I eat.
Yeah.
Everything's there. And I think that helped me because I know there are a lot of people who are not able to eat and it's kind of hard to force yourself,
Yeah.
but I know I have to. And it's not like uncomfortable. So, even though I'm not actively hungry or when I'm cooking, it's just not me constantly eating while I'm cooking.
Yeah.
I can sit down and I can eat my food. Now, if I get to a point where I'm just like, I don't get a full feeling because I don't think I'm quite eating so much where that happens. But it's just, when you know you're done.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, okay, I don't have to finish everything on this plate.
Right. I'm just kind of tired of eating it.
Yeah. Like,
which I never had before.
me neither. Me neither. Like, seconds, thirds, fourths.
Yeah. Like, what's on your plate over here? I want to eat some of that too. Yeah. So yeah. Now, is your family, who's at home? So are they eating the way you're eating, or you're cooking differently for them, or?
It's just me. And I'm the only vegan in the house. And I do have a daughter that she eats similar, but she does incorporate seafood, and she lives in Louisiana. So that's, if you're going to eat seafood, that's a good place to live, I guess.
Sounds good. Fresh. Yeah.
But I have a 15-year-old and an almost 17-year-old at home. They can make a lot of their stuff. And my husband will order food a lot. And, they just eat that. Any sides or anything,
fine.
I'll make that for them occasionally, but they don't want that. They'll be like, oh, Mom, this is good. I think they think it'll hurt my feelings if they don't like it. It won't. Whenever they want me to make something, as long as it's not meat, I can make it. I can't even stand to smell meat cooking.
It. Oh.
Yeah. And that happened before even becoming a vegan. I just lost the desire to eat it. So I was like, hey, we're going with it.
Yeah, that's kind of how my sister became a vegetarian. I don't think maybe she's vegan. I don't think she's vegan, but she just didn't ever really like meat. And then the smell of it just kind of turned her off. And so now she just.
I used to love it.
Yeah.
I ate all the kinds, bacon, steak regularly, and I just, to lose that desire was surprising. And then, the more videos I saw about the treatment, I just, it became more
bad
of like
for the planet and all that.
Yeah. Just
bad for us, bad for the planet. I know I should eat more vegetables.
No lectures.
Yeah. Did you have any side effects on being on the medication? None.
Not one. And as far as constipation, I haven't had that. Now, there was a time where, so if I'm used to going multiple times a day, and when I first started, I think it may have slowed down to once or twice a day, but it was never like I wasn't able to go at all.
Oh.
And then I think because I drink a lot of water, I drink about a gallon of water a day.
Yeah.
It's keeping things moving and a lot of fiber. And I think it's a lot easier to digest the stuff that I eat than when I was eating like these heavier things with higher quantities.
Yeah, and I guess the fiber and the plants and the vegetables and the beans and I need to get on that
yesterday
track.
When you said during your live, you said something about high fiber. I can't remember exactly how you said it, but I was like, I'm going to say this to her tomorrow, and she's going to.
Yeah, Christopher said you were in rare form on that live. I'm like, I don't know, just stuff comes out of my mouth. I don't know, but because we had the colonoscopy, and I found the paper, because when you come out of it, you're groggy, and they're like, here's your book, and I'm like, okay, and I threw it in the back seat, and I found it, and it said high fiber diet, and I was like, high fiber diet, Christopher, I need to eat a high fiber diet, because Christopher cooks all of our meals, because he's a great cook and I'm a terrible cook. So he's like, okay, we can have more high fiber. That's fine. I like beans. So but and I've struggled, if you've watched me talk about it, I've struggled with the constipation. So hopefully the high fiber diet, and I'm pretty good about drinking water. I've got my new water cup.
I got a new one too. A friend bought for it. The bride got me this, actually.
That's all. How many ounces does that hold?
You know what? I'm not sure. I feel like it could be 32. I have a canteen that I typically drink that's 32 ounces.
I bet it's more than that. Do you ever measure to see how much your water bottle holds?
So not this particular one, but my canteen, I knew that I had 4 of those a day. So it's very easy to know. This, I'm drinking about 4 of them a day. So I hope it's 32 ounces, but I think that I will check.
Yeah. I have a really one bigger than this, and I was taking it to the gym, and I drink some as I drive, and I put, and my hand was getting like,
it's like lifting weights.
I gotta do some muscle work for these hands to lift this water bottle up, right?
That is your workout. There you go.
It's my workout on my way to my workout. So yeah. So let's talk about your workout. So you were telling me a little bit about you do weights. Tell me a little bit about what you do.
So when I first started, I was following a YouTube channel. It is called Strong Sisters United. And I did 4 of her programs. So in that screenshot you showed earlier, those were those programs. And I did those, let's see, 4 of the programs, one of them twice. And then I switched over fairly recently to Lift with C. And I don't know if you're familiar with her, but definitely inspiring. I mean, I think she's in our age group and she just looks phenomenal. And she's had kids. And so I felt like more connected to her, even though the Strong Sister United, those are great workouts. It's just, you find someone and you just feel like, okay, we can connect more. I mean, she's, had some life experience, had kids, understands that whole thing. And again, in our age group, to be having muscle, and she doesn't look masculine or anything like that. She just looks strong. And so I was like, those are goals. So I've been doing her programs and they're short. I don't strength train for this long period of time. The workouts are typically in the 25-minute range. The series I'm doing now is called The Compound. And that has one day that's 32 minutes, but it's upper body. And that's like my favorite thing to work on. So just staying, that is not negotiable for me, non-negotiable. I've only missed one day since I started, and that was the day of the eclipse. And I just didn't feel like it. I just didn't feel like no. But I jumped right back in the next day, which kind of helped me realize, okay, you don't have to do this all or nothing. It's okay sometimes if you need to take a break, a break, but jump back into it. And
that thought occurred to me when you were talking about, getting into it and making the lifestyle change and doing the workout and water and doing all the things. And I think sometimes we get into that all or nothing mindset where I have to, and if I miss one thing, just throw it all out the window.
That was me.
I'm done. Yeah. And I've done that so many times. Like, you have a bad day or you eat a pizza and you're like, I'm done.
Right. Or I'm going to start Monday. You know what? I'm going to start at the beginning of the month. It just it seemed like I just kept giving myself excuses to keep pushing it back. And then I would never quite get in that groove. And it was because I was trying to do too many things. And
it's, this, and like I said a little bit before, this is our life now. So this is, and you're going to have rocky times and good times. And some days you're not going to want to do your workout, and that's okay. You don't have to, you do what's right for you. I see that a lot. Like we had a Weight Watchers leader one time, and she gave us this little shoe, and she wanted to give us a walking challenge, like a 30-day walking challenge. And she wanted everybody to color in the days of the week in the shoe. And I mean, I got to day 5 and I didn't walk. So I'm like, well, I guess I can't do the challenge anymore. And some of us told the leader this, and she goes, oh, you know what? Yeah. So it doesn't matter if you color it in every day, as long as you're coloring in some days or most days, that's you're making progress. You're working toward a goal that now that we're at our goal weight, it's just kind of our life now. So you're not going to throw it out just because, had a bad day. Do you have dumbbells in your house, or how heavy are you lifting?
I do. I have a weight rack and everything, and I don't use any of that currently, but I do use a set of dumbbells. I have I'm down in the basement, like you can see these things, but, and I have kettlebells. I
Yeah.
have the Bowflex adjustable dumbbells, but I think
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna buy a rack with the individual ones.
Yeah.
'Cause I think it'd be easier, especially if I need to switch weights during. I don't have
Yeah.
to run back and like adjust it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
From your military service, I mean, I think of people running when you say army. Like, did you have to do do you do any cardio now that's maybe carried over from that? No. Hate cardio. Not
and
doing
I'll be
it.
100% honest. I feel like if I were to, well, I can't go back in the military, right? I've been retired, but
Yeah.
if I were to go back now, I feel like my mindset is different. I hated it. I hated the physical activity portion.
Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
not want to run. It wasn't optional.
Right.
So even just going into it with that attitude, like, I hate this. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
So I just did the bare minimum when it came to that. Now I was great at my job, but the
Yeah.
physical stuff, I just
Yeah.
wasn't the biggest fan.
Yeah.
And now I on days that I don't feel like it, because those days come. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna act like every day is just easy,
Right.
but I tell myself 5 minutes. If you can just do 5 minutes, then you can stop. But you
Right.
have to do something. And I haven't stopped yet. But I give myself that so it's not this like rigid or dreadful thing. A lot of
Yeah.
times it's just me lounging around being lazy. So there's
Yeah.
no, like, if I were sick, that's different.
Yeah.
And now these workouts are in the, 25 minute time frame.
Yeah.
There's no reason. Now, if it was an hour, it'd be really hard for me to
Yeah.
push myself to do that. So that's why I make
Yeah.
them do these programs that
Yeah.
will be realistic for me.
Yeah, no, you're doing what you like to do. It's not overwhelming for you to work for these workouts. You've got the right, mindset for it. In the Air Force, I used to listen to this guy his podcaster name is Fat Dag. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but he would talk about how in the Air Force you had to like do a timed run and you had to weigh in and you had.
But see, weight was never an issue for me back then.
Oh,
So
oh,
that was easy. I could do the run. I
yeah,
hated running,
yeah,
but when I was in the Air Force, I was
yeah.
stationed on an army base. So we
Uh-huh.
didn't have
Mm.
PT or anything like that.
Oh,
Now, when I went in the army, that was a whole different story.
yeah,
Definitely a lot more physical, but again, weight was never an issue.
yeah,
So I don't think I was under the microscope like
yeah,
someone who wasn't able to do the things
gotcha.
and they were overweight. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. So really, I guess your childhood, you were just like a normal sized kid.
Skinny. I got teased a lot. Like, yeah, like
Oh,
and it's crazy because I hated it, but it's just like, well, I ate a good amount,
yeah.
but in high school, people would ask me if I was bulimic and things like that
Oh.
because of it was I don't
Yeah, no, I mean, I had a really skinny friend in college, and we used to say, "Oh, you're so skinny, and wish we were like you." And she was like, "Guys, it's not anything I'm doing. Like, you don't like being fun of for being overweight. I don't like being fun of for being too skinny." And I had never really thought of that before. I was like, "Oh, but everybody wants to look like you. Nobody wants to look like me." But yeah, and it yeah, I think we've just gotten so used to commenting on people's appearances when really maybe that's not always a good idea.
know. And I think in the way that they were doing it, and I'd never even processed like, okay, the only people that make fun of me are the people that are on the bigger side, right?
Oh,
Like
yeah,
they
'cause they
knew I
wanted to be
ate.
skinny like you.
And see, I didn't look at it like that. As a
Yeah,
kid, I just was
yeah,
very self-conscious and everybody's developing and I was
yeah,
just this, straight up and down girl. And then I was 5'7". I don't know. I think I was already 5'7" in the 10th grade and 118 pounds like that.
yeah.
I think I was 112 when I graduated. So I was really
Wow.
small, but again, it wasn't this conscious effort to do it.
Yeah. Well, that's just the way you are. That's just
Yeah.
me, I was 112 pounds, I think, in the 5th grade. It's just But you know what? I mean, it's fine. And it's interesting to me, the people who put on weight over time that still have the food noise like you were talking about. Because I didn't I thought, or the food noise, I've always had it. I didn't know other people had it too. I just thought it was just me wanting to eat all the time. So I'm always interested to know, when did you when do you think you started hearing the food noise? Was it always there, or was it just came along
I
with the
remember in
weight?
elementary. I remember in
Really?
elementary school, like I just felt like I was always hungry.
Always
So
hungry.
whenever I went somewhere, if there was going to be food, like I was just looking forward to it. And I I remember always like wanting to go back for seconds, and it's just I don't think anyone paid attention because I was smaller, and it didn't
Your body
really
just
start
kept up
hitting
with
me.
it. Yeah.
It did. And I
Yeah.
was an active kid. I wasn't in
Yeah.
sports, but like I walked a lot, not for
Mhm.
exercise, just, I mean, I graduated, I lived in New York, so it's a lot of
Uh-huh.
walking, right?
Yeah.
Or buses and trains. And I
Yeah.
would play outside, things that kids don't necessarily do a lot of now. Like we were
Yeah.
doing double dutch and, cheering and things like that. So I feel
Yeah.
like I had to have been, in addition to having a high metabolism, I wasn't just this sedentary kid sitting in front of the TV. So I think
Yeah.
that helped.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
then having
Interesting.
jobs, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, cool. Have you gotten rid of your old clothes? Have you said, like, clear out the closet yet, or no?
I need to. I need to get a lot of those things out of there. For the longest time though, I had this fear that I don't want to get rid of these clothes and the weight come back. And then I have to get clothes again because when I lost
Yeah.
that 80 something pounds before, I got rid
Yeah.
of a bunch of
And
stuff and then gained a
and then it
bunch of
came
weight
back.
back. But
Yeah.
I think it's okay. I've been
Yeah.
maintaining this loss. I think it's okay to go ahead and get rid of those things. And I
I
need to
think it's
buy some more
okay.
clothes because I'm always wearing the same, t-shirts and
Yeah.
sweatpants.
Yeah, exactly. Same. So, yeah, Christopher cleared out his closet. My husband, Christopher, cleared out his closet a couple months ago, and he like slashed, like he was down to like a
I
section
saw
this
his
big.
before.
Yeah. So nothing fits him from before. And he's like, yep, I'm just getting rid of everything. And me, I'm like, well, I really like this. Maybe I'll keep
I can
it.
make this work.
Maybe. But I mean, what size were you, and what were you at your peak, and what size are you now?
So I'm gonna have to say like an 18. I was doing extra, extra larges because I wanted things also to fit a little bigger because of the way the weight was distributed. I looked
Yeah.
pregnant, so I really didn't like
Yeah.
shirts that, you
Or
know,
tight.
pressed against my
Yeah.
belly. Yeah,
Yeah.
and some of those things I think I had stretched out because as I was
Yeah.
gaining weight, I was still trying to stuff myself into them.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
But
I'd
I'm
do that
down to
trick
a
where I would
3.
sit down and pull my shirt like over my knees to stretch it out. You're like, "Oh,
I didn't know
it's
other people did that.
still fit." I don't think I've ever said that, like, out loud, but yeah, I do that all the time. Like, "Oh, it's still fits. I can still wear it."
We're
Put the
gonna make
jeans
this work.
on and sit down and, like,
Stretching them
stretch
out,
them out. Yeah.
squatting.
Yeah, yeah. I know all the tricks, all the tricks. So what size are you now, Taisha?
So it's funny, the bridesmaid's dress was a 6, but
Oh,
when like some jeans that I got from one of my daughters, like I can get her hand-me-downs now or things that
oh,
if she orders it and doesn't wear it. So I got
yeah,
some 3s and some 4s. It just depends. I'm used to even number sizes, but I
yeah.
guess it depends on where you shop. But yeah,
Well,
I
those
think that
juniors are threes, and I guess women's are fours, or I don't know.
that may be the okay.
Yeah, I used to be
So
a
yeah.
clothing buyer in another life,
Yeah.
so yeah. So I have some knowledge way
And
back here somewhere.
speaking of that, I know this is a little off topic, but the sizing for women is ridiculous.
Oh, yeah,
It's ridiculous. I wish it was just like men.
with the
If you're a
waist.
30, you're a 30. You're a 30 no matter what
Yeah.
brand you get. But for women, it's not that way.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I used to be a pants buyer, pants, jeans. So there's so many measurements. So you've got like the front rise, you've got a back rise, you've got a hip measurement, you've got a weight. Where men are more like zip, zip,
Oh, yeah.
zip. And so for women, it just depends on the pattern or the fit model that you're using or how it's like some places I'll go into and it's like it's made for me. Like for a while, like I would go into the Gap and I'm like, yep, this is like the exact right fit for me. And then I go into Old Navy and I'm like, this is not, I don't know who this is made for, but it is not for me. So it's just such a variance. And even in the same store, that if you try on the same jeans in the same size but different pairs, they're gonna fit different. Because if
Crazy.
they're cut in bulk, the one on the top, when it gets cut out on the big machine, is gonna slightly be off from the one on the bottom. It's just it's just weird. That's why I tell people, like, you gotta try stuff on. You gotta if something's kinda off, try a different one, same size.
I can't order
There's
online. I have to
Yeah.
go in and try things on.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, let's talk about your YouTube channel. Tell us about your YouTube channel.
so I started that. I started actually
There she is.
posting. I started my Zepbound journey in February, but I didn't start making any content until March. Now, that particular video, I think, is from December of
Uh-huh.
2023. And of course, I posted that and that was it. I didn't I didn't make any more videos. And I had this idea like no one's going to listen to you or want to follow you. You're not even I felt like I had to be in a certain place to start. But then in March I was like, no, it would be great to document this
Document it. Mhm.
so that we have this to reference. Like anyone just coming in new to the channel, they could go back to the beginning and see,
Yeah.
oh, okay, you know. Plus it's good to have that, occasionally look at that stuff like, okay, this is where you came from. And as long
Yeah.
as you keep doing the right thing, it'll continue.
Yeah, it's
So
that visual side-by-side picture, I think, is so powerful. Like, sometimes we look in the mirror and
I don't
we
see
don't
it.
see it. Yeah, I'm
I,
putting on the size 6 pants, but I don't think these pants are right. Like, I don't really? Like, I don't think so. But then you look at the side by side and you're like, "Oh, yeah,
I'm
of
glad to
course.
hear
Now
you
I see
say
it."
that because I know it probably sounds ridiculous to other people like, oh, come on, you don't see it looking in the mirror. No, I
Yeah.
really, it takes seeing those side by sides
Yeah.
to like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I could get on the scale. I know I'm wearing smaller things, but looking in the mirror, I see the same person.
See the same, yeah, exactly. Well, I guess it's a little bit like body dysmorphia is kind of
Yeah.
a thing where I mean, I still see myself as a 12, 14, but I look at the side by side, I'm like, "No, I'm not."
Relatable, like 100%.
Yeah.
It's just good because I don't hear too many people say that, and I
Well, it's
don't try
kinda
to.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's kinda hard to describe. It's like, and I think that's why I'm constantly going and trying on clothes because 'cause I'm like, "These clothes are just made wrong." Like, I
right,
don't Like, there's no way I just put on, like, a 4 on and zipped and
right.
buttoned it. Like,
Yes.
that's a fluke. That's a fluke. Let me try a different store. Let me try another one. Let me go to Goodwill and try I just got a lot of Christopher and I got a lot of jeans at Goodwill because 'cause I'll, like,
That's where
rifle
I need to
through
go.
all the things looking for the designer jeans or the things that I know people have tossed out, and I'm like, Size 27. I don't think I can my waist isn't a zipped it right up, but I'm like, "What is happening?"
How did that feel, right? We put it on and we're just like, okay, even though I'm not seeing what I feel like is an accurate representation, maybe like, again in pictures, I'm like, okay, look at that. I did look nice that day, you
Yeah.
know? And the bridesmaid dress, I know it sounds silly. I was like, is my stomach like poking out? Or it just these
Yeah.
irrational kind of thoughts that pop in here and there. But I didn't feel like hiding or anything like that. I was
No,
just like,
the picture looks great, and those former formal wear stuff runs super small.
Yeah.
So that you got into a 4 of a bridesmaid's dress? A 6.
Six for the bridesmaid dress. Mm-hmm.
I mean, those run small. So that's really like a 2 or a 4 in a normal thing. Like, so that's good. Yeah. No, that's really good. And I know what you mean about, because I've always been very self-conscious about my stomach. Like I had a million pairs of, Spanx and Shapers and Suck It In and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I was always like, "Does my stomach look big in this?" And now it's just like, I'm not. I refuse to wear them. Like I'm not wearing Spanx anymore. I'm not wearing those things. Like I'm done with that. It's kind of like, I don't know. I think I've just gotten to the point where I'm just like done with everything except for my compounded Tirzepatide. Like, do not ever take it away from me.
Right. I feel you. It's just like I'm gonna be on this forever. I tried it. I've tried it in life without that.
Right.
You know, and this works. So whatever we're deficient in, that this is, taken care of.
Yeah.
I look at it like that. Like anyone else that needs medication for something.
Yeah.
We need this medication.
Exactly.
As well.
High blood pressure, people take pills of that forever. Like, have you ever read the possible side effects of Advil? Like, you'd be shocked.
Yeah, everything's a risk.
Right. So yeah, I'm pretty much feeling like I'm gonna stay on some form of this forever, because I lived my whole life up to now, like with the whole diet and exercise and Weight Watchers, and if I could have worked out of it, I would have. Anyway, is there anything any tips, anything you want to tell people who are just starting that you might want them to know?
I say that it's cool to consume all this content, but all of our journeys are different. Yeah. Slow and steady. I know that it's, we hear about all these people losing these extreme amounts of weight super quickly. That's not the way to do it this time. Let the medicine do what it does. Yeah. And make these lifestyle changes. And you have to make lifestyle changes if you want to be successful long term.
Yeah.
So
exactly. Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure. Do you know how much weight you lost a week on average? How many pounds a week on average?
I used to keep track of that. I'm going to go into the happy scale really quick, and then I can tell you, because it was a lot faster in the beginning.
Yeah. So I calculated mine out, and it was 1.58 pounds a week. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but what I noticed with this medication was it was just a very consistent loss every week. And I'd never had that before with any other diet or exercise or anything.
So it has now my overall weight 1.35. So 54 lost all time, but 1.35 is what it ends up. At least that's what
you've been on maintenance for a while, so that kind of probably lowered it.
It kind of threw it off.
Yeah.
But I got to. Go ahead. I'm so sorry.
No. I just think it's interesting. Like you were saying, people want fast weight loss. People want to know, how fast can I do this? And do I have to eat certain foods? And what do I have to do? And it's not a fast weight loss process, but it's just very consistent. And you like you said, you let the medicine do what it does. And you make some better food choices, and maybe you go for a walk, or pick up a dumbbell, or so
easy things, body weight exercises, stretches.
Yeah.
I was 132 in August, so initially it was really fast, but I lost a bunch of muscle in the beginning. So that's slow and steady. So we've got the rest of our lives, however long that is,
right?
Slow and steady.
Right. This is our life now. Yeah.
New normal.
Well, Taisha, it's been great having you on Be sure to check out Taisha's YouTube channel. It's simply Taisha. You can see her progress. You can see her take her medication out of the refrigerator and give herself a shot. And I watched a few. She's got a really cool refrigerator with anyway, go check it out. Go check it out at Simply Taisha. And please remember to like and subscribe to The Downsized and to Simply Taisha. He's telling me all these things from over there. He can cut this out later. But thanks everybody for watching today. If you'd like to be on The Downsized Dish, you can send me an email to Laraine Durham just Laraine. We changed it. Laraine at thedownsized.org, Laraine at thedownsized.org. I'll send you a link to our calendar. We'll get you set up and we'll just have a relaxed 30-ish minute conversation like we had with Taisha today. Well, thank you, Taisha.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, really enjoyed talking to you today. And be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on The Downsized. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.